Michael Ray here on the Walk-Ins Welcome crew, and I wanted to give you a quick intro to this. This is a replay of our front desk training that I did at the UCA in Dallas back in May. And this is the reason why we're replaying this. Two reasons, really. One is it's Christmas time. We're taking a break, all the things. So we weren't going to record this week because we typically record on Thursdays, and it just happens to be Christmas time, and there you go. The other reason is that this is one of the most popular episodes that we've ever had on the show, and so much so, this episode has now started to turn into a training for urgent cares. So when you listen to this, we actually are now working, I personally am working on a training for how to do better front desk. And we actually offer this for our current clients. And we're looking at a way to make it an offering to those who aren't current clients as well. So please take a listen, please enjoy, and please have a wonderful holiday. And we'll see you in the new year.
To get started, thank y'all for coming to visit and listen to my talk for the next 45 minutes. My name is Michael Ray, and I am with Patient Care Marketing Pros. So what is Patient Care Marketing Pros? We're a marketing company designed for urgent care. We're trying to get patients in your door, and I'm the VP of Operations. But I've been in the marketing B2B sales world since 2011, so 14 years of this I've been working through. And what we're learning in our world is that we're pretty good about getting patients to call you, patients to maybe book online, but then there's a problem. The problem comes with the front desk, and where the front desk isn't necessarily doing the part of getting them to convert to an actual patient. We see this all the time with urgent cares, and it's to the point now where we want to bring this conversation to the front and get some feedback from you guys and kind of show you what we're learning and what's working and what's not. Sound good? Good? Okay. So walking through the goals of today, so basically we're going to understand that we're not just doing a front desk duty type thing where I'm answering the phone or just taking in the person on the intake side of things, right? Where I'm just doing the basics of a customer service. We're going to go beyond that. Now, it may sound like a tainted word, but we are going into a sales training mode right now. I know when people think sales, what do you think of? Used car salesman, there's sometimes a negative side to sales, right? Well, I got to change your mind on that. It's not negative. It's really just adjusting some conversation to a more proactive approach and not a passive approach. Does that make sense? Okay. So we're going to go through that. And we're going to show that your revenue, whatever revenue you're at right now, can increase with your current staff by just making some minor adjustments. I can almost guarantee it. We see it all the time where just making a small adjustment to one phrase can actually increase your patient volume. It's really amazing to watch. Beyond that, I'm actually going to give you guys resources. So even if you're trying to jot down some notes, don't worry, we'll have a scan at the end. You can scan it and you can download all the scripts I'm talking about and everything. So don't feel like you have to rush on the notes here at all today because we want to make sure you get all the information that we have to offer. Sound good? All right, so let's just move on through that. First question out of the gate, though, because I want some feedback. Have you ever had a great customer service experience, and how did it make you feel? It can be this morning, it could be last week, it could be years ago. Somebody give me an example of a customer service experience that you had that was just fantastic as a customer. Yeah?
Not healthcare related, but luggage company. Bought a suitcase 8 years ago, got a slight crack in it, and they immediately sent me a new one.
Oh yeah?
And did request for me to send the old one back.
It's fantastic, right? Yeah. Now, chances are you'll probably utilize that from the get-go.
Back and bought something else at the same time.
Exactly. So there was client retention, correct?
Yes.
And what did they do was they identified the problem. They had a solution to your problem beyond what you thought the solution could be, and it impressed you. So now you're a forever client, a forever patient, right? So who else? Another example, somebody else. Don't be shy. We're all customers of something, right? There's got to be something that comes to your mind. It's like, this is what's fantastic. I love that one. Anybody else? One more. Come on. Yes.
Just coming here, my luggage was left in Salt Lake.
Oh, joy.
So a little stressful, but as soon as I went up to the Delta representative, she was very kind and assured me my luggage be on the next flight at 2 o'clock, or whatever time it was. and they get it to me. And the tracking, the person delivering it, they text you when they leave the airport, they text you en route, they text you when they drop it off, they tell you who they sent it to. So it made the stress less for me, because, and just having the kindness and just feeling like you'll have to come back and get it, or them taking care of the problem.
Exactly. So take that mindset, think about your front desk. Are they taking that extra step, right, and communicating throughout the process? So that's where I'm trying to go with that. So thinking through that, because at the end of the day, when you're spending marketing dollars, that patient that potentially called you, or a potential patient that called you, that costs you money. And you want to make sure they're taken care of. And so you have to go through that mindset of like, is this the most effective way of doing this? Are they just answering a phone call to answer a billing question, or are you open? Like, it has to go beyond that, and that's what we're going to talk about. All right, so real quick, just kind of honing in on the idea of why this is more than just answering a phone. So we all know Chick-fil-A, McDonald's. Who likes Chick-fil-A? Everybody. Who likes McDonald's? Ooh, a lot less. But look at the revenue, right? So now you can make arguments. There's more McDonald's than our Chick-fil-A's, all these different things. But at the end of the day, Chick-fil-A is a 2-to-1 to McDonald's per location. Probably the same amount of employees too, honestly. But when you think Chick-fil-A, you think consistency, you think customer experience, my pleasure, right? So and you know you're gonna have a good time. And with McDonald's, you don't know. Maybe hit or miss, and they're trying to remove people. They're putting kiosks up and all the things, trying to remove the human side of it. And so, but at the end of the day, whether we like it or not, McDonald's and Chick-fil-A is 2 pieces of bread with meat in the middle and potatoes. They're both doing the same thing, right? One's chicken, one's beef. But what this is showing, though, is like, it's the experience side, it's the retention side. I'm coming back to Chick-fil-A. I have a 5-year-old. I'm going to Chick-fil-A over McDonald's because I know it's going to be a better experience for my 5-year-old. So that's how you got to start thinking about everything your urgent care is doing, because at the end of the day, that first impression, that first human impression is your front desk. Is it a Chick-fil-A type impression, or is it a McDonald's impression? I know some of you are thinking right now, we're probably more at McDonald's. Why? Why is that different? Why can't it be a Chick-fil-A experience every single time? Are you focused on that? Or are you just focused on let me make sure we take care of the patient from a pure, like, let me find how to help them feel better? Well, it starts at the very beginning of the front desk. All right. So, once again, I'm going into the dirty word of sales, but essentially they are your secret sales team. So what we're going through here is that phone call is converting to that lead will be converted to a patient. And so you have to take the mindset, if a phone call is coming in, can I convert them to a patient or not? And if you're not having that trained, they're never going to do it. Like anybody been in sales before? A couple of people, you know, right? If you don't ask, they're not going to buy, because they want to buy, but you have to ask. And then that's what's happening in our urgent care space. We have lots of situations where they're asking, like, do you take this insurance? Do you do this? And then they just answer the question, okay, thanks, and they hang up. Well, what's the point in that? Because you want to get them in the door, right? Because they're looking for help, and you're there to help them. So that's the mindset, and what I'm trying to tie in together before we go into it is because we see it, your front desk can make or break a good month. If you are 5 patients a day difference between a good month and a bad month, your front desk probably has control over that. And if you don't believe that, go pull up your calls on your phone system. What does that look like? Are they actually converting, or are they just answering questions? Right? All right. So there's just some basic stats here, like just to kind of showcase some information. 1% increase in retention could be equal to 4% more lifetime value. That adds up over time. I don't know if you guys ever heard like that mindset of be better 1% at a time. It can make a huge difference. So this is where we are with that. Also, just looking at this big number over here on the right is 873% ROI, better patient engagement. So that's just the idea of taking a clinic and making inquiries better and utilizing some AI to kind of help along the way. I don't think you guys have seen or heard Flip AI before, the vendor here as well. We're friends with them, and they help bring up some of those stats, but like AI can definitely mix into the bit of this. Okay? All right. Now I've kind of set the table. Raise your hand if you're confident that your front desk person can convert leads into patients. Maybe?
It's a no. Which clinic?
Exactly. Exactly. Now let me ask you, you said which clinic. What's making the difference between clinics?
Patient demographic,
Okay.
employee demographic, managers.
Do you think the managers can make an impact on that? So is it concerning that of this room, 2 or 3 people raised their hand that think they could do it? Why is this a problem? I mean, y'all are in charge of a lot of these people, right? Why is this a problem to you guys? Is this not a focus? Or just an assumption?
It's a fear.
It's a fear. Well, tell me more. Why is it a fear?
When you think about the competition in this role, right? I mean, people can come work for us and make $17 an hour. They can go work at Chick-fil-A and make $17 an hour.
Right.
So you're paying somebody to see your 30 or 40 people a day to have a great attitude. And there are sometimes managers who go, oh my God, if I counsel that person, then they're going to leave to go make money at Starbucks or Chick-fil-A, and then I'm stuck at the front desk.
So that's a real.
It's just a fear.
It's a real fear, but it's not. But it's actually
It's
fake.
not valid, yes.
Yeah, it's fake. Because if I train you and make you better, yes, you could leave. But if I kept you and made you worse, you're not going anywhere, and it's just hurting my clinic.
Correct.
And you're afraid to get rid of them, or afraid to like sit down and have that hard talk with them, and you have to, because at the end of the day, like this is real. Like if you can help somebody go from 30 patients a day to 35 patients per day just by having a better conversation, who's winning? Everybody's winning, right? So I'm thank you for mentioning fear because it's real. So we got fear. Anybody else got any reasons why they're not? Yeah.
You're not putting your resources in the front desk. Like you said, you're paying them minimum, just a little bit above minimum wage. That's the last focus you really look at. You look at your clinical staff, what can I do clinically, what can I do better? Because once they do the door, you want to wow them.
Yeah.
You want to, it's the doctors, it's the nurse practitioners, it's the clinical staff, front desk staff, usually last on the list.
So why? Right? Like, because at the end of, okay, let's take away the healthcare side. Most businesses that aren't healthcare that have a sales part, the salespeople make the most money because they impact the rest of the business. So you have to take that mindset. Your front desk needs to, if you increase your pay from like $20 an hour to $40 an hour, sounds like a big number, right? You're going to get better talent, and you're going to be looking for that sales type person, not just a customer service answer phone person. Because we've all seen it, right? You've had that great sales experience by somebody where they were telling you exactly what you wanted, and it just made the process super smooth. Anyway, thank y'all for the feedback on that. If you got more, let me know. Anybody else real quick before I move on? Good? Cool. Yeah, I think everybody can raise their hand, thinks there's room for improvement. I think we just talked about that, so lots of hands should go up right now, correct? Yep. Okay, good. All right, so let's just throw some numbers at it. This is where you're paying your $17 an hour. It could be a lot more, it makes a lot more sense to pay $40 an hour to find the right person. Kind of straightforward. This is pure marketing dollars, by the way. I'm not trying to measure out everything here, but we know that in our world, so like, sorry, got that. We know that in our marketing world, we're getting patients in your door between $9 and $17. That's our cost per conversion, overall cost per acquisition. And so $9 to $17 for somebody to call and book appointment or go online and book appointment. And I can go ahead and tell you right now, not like probably 70% of people call before they'll book an appointment because they want to talk, ask a question. Even though the information will be right in front of them, they want to ask a question. And so think about that. If there were 30 calls per day that were coming in because of your marketing that's costing you approximately $10, that's $300 plus a day you could be wasting if they're throwing away the phone call. So all of a sudden that $40 an hour front desk person is worth a whole lot more to you. Make sense? Gotta look at it from that standpoint. And we've experienced good front desk people. We know what it's like. Like you said, one of your clinics is really great at it. And it's all about being the proactive side. I tell you the best example of this, you take a clinic that is, the front desk isn't doing a great job. You put the owner on the phone for a day. How many more patients are you gonna get that day? Because they're so enthusiastic, they love their business, and they want it to grow. We've done it before. outside of healthcare, we had a daycare that we worked with, and their front desk person, same concept, front desk person was not good at asking for tours. And they would call in, what's your tuition cost? And then the follow-up, would you like to go and schedule a tour? She wouldn't do it. So she went on vacation, best time to do these things, right? The owner comes and gets on the phone, and she booked a tour on almost every phone call. Same concept, right? Because she's invested in her business, so she was motivated to do it. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. Does these numbers make sense? Like this idea of what it's costing you when the phone calls come through? Okay. Other things that you may not realize is that when you have missed calls, who in here knows how many missed calls you guys are averaging right now in your clinic? How many missed calls are you getting?
About 30%.
30% of all calls coming in are missed. Are they because they're after hours or because you're busy, or do you know?
It's a little unclear. That has been the hard part, got in exactly what a missed call is.
Okay. Yeah, right. So something that goes to a voicemail and all the things.
Right. Did they hit a call tree and abandon the call tree because they got their answer?
I tell you, call trees are interesting because while they do save some time, they hurt your conversion. We recognize that. It's a real thing. So who else? What was your number?
I'm with
Oh, okay, cool. Anybody else? What's your missed call number?
We're at 96%.
96. Okay, nice. Anybody else? One more. Yep.
Who's in 96? I'm Sean, we're going to talk later.
There you go. Easy connection. What was yours?
13%.
13% missed calls. So, and you guys, like, the percentages matter because you're getting thousands of calls. So, you know, if you're getting, I don't know, 1,000 calls, like, we'll just keep it low, 1,000 calls a month, talking 30%, 300 calls go unanswered. That's painful because you know some of those are actual patients trying to get in. Yep.
What do you factor in like a text line service too? That's what we have. How do you?
So,
do we have a live person like remotely just answer and like bring them in, or you know?
So the focus is, are they being intercepted?
Yes.
Yeah. So like, and intercepted not just from like a bot, but like an actual, like a person of some degree, or we talk about AI bots, how they're starting to evolve and get better. But no, like an actual interception, because at the end of the day, people make decisions in their own unless you help to direct them down a path. So yeah, I mean, when it comes to that, like we have a couple of clinics that are almost 100% no missed calls, and they're doing very well, honestly. So that's the part I want to push on you is like, even if they are interacting to some degree, is there like that final push? Like, are they getting what they need, and then can we get them into the clinic? Because a lot of times when you just let them just answer a basic question, then they're done. I mean, you do it all the time. You're shopping online, right? You ask the bot something, and okay. But if somebody calls you and says, hey, actually, I saw you said this. Can we go ahead and take care of this for you? Okay, I'll go ahead and take care of it. Because you want to say yes, but sometimes you have to push to say yes. All right, some other things there. So the patient experience, we all know about patient experience. You poor souls with your Google reviews, how you have 5 stars and 1 stars all day long. People love to talk about a bad time before they'll talk about a good time. But the reality of it is, some of that is, not some of it, at least half of it is your front desk experience. Like, did they intake well? Did they answer my questions well? And then the other half is the actual, you know, the doctor seeing them. Because like, but at the end of the day, they had to get through a lot of pieces to get to that doctor. Was it frictionless? Did they actually get what they wanted the whole time? Like, do you believe that your intake process is frictionless right now? Where it's just very simple and straight to the point and there's no questions asked? If you're not sure, I'll mention this later, but you need people to secret shop you. Like, they need to go through that process and see, like, is this good or bad? So, because you know your clinics, you know your processes. You're the worst person to test it on. You need somebody that's never seen you before. All right, and then the mindset of a follow-up appointment. So this is where I'm curious if any urgent cares do this, because we only have a couple that we talked to have ever done this. Are they booking appointments from appointments? Anybody do that in your clinic? Ever thought about it? So like a simple example of like, they come in like, hey, we're actually going to go and schedule your flu shot or a physical coming up because I know you said you played sports. I take care of that for you. Anybody do that at all? A couple? Yeah? Does it work?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's one of those things like, it sounds so simple. It's one question and it can create more revenue for you. So it's going back to that mindset of a little bit of training, a little bit of training. All right. So moving into this, so let's start with some actual conversation changes right now. So we're going from receptionist mindset to sales rep mindset. Passive scheduling, this is what you don't necessarily want. It sounds good on the front end, but it's not a true conversion point. Would you like to book an appointment? Well, maybe. I don't know. Or let me call you back. Ever heard that before, right? Doesn't work. Switch it to, I have a time that works for you. Let's go ahead and get you scheduled now. Like, if you do scheduling. I don't know if you do or not. You know, maybe walk in. But you can even say, our lobby is actually very, not many people in the lobby right now. Let you go ahead and come in. You'll be in and out really quickly. So it's proactive. Let's get you on the scheduler now. This is actually one of my favorite ones. Well, how far are you from our clinic right now? Oh, and what it does, it forces them to look or to think, oh, I'm 15 minutes away. Great, it's 10:30 right now. I have a slot for 10:50. Can I go ahead and put you down for that and I'll see you in 15 minutes? Absolutely, because you solved their problem. They no longer have to search anymore because you took the time to engage with them. Does that make sense? So like and this came about because like I done a lot of B2B sales. In the sales world, hey, would you like to book a time with me to talk about marketing? Maybe. Let me look at my schedule. Whatever. It doesn't work. If I go back to say, hey, can we talk tomorrow, Tuesday at 10 a.m. or 2 p.m.? Which one works better for you? What does that do? Force you to go look at your calendar and say, yeah, I can do 10 a.m. Cool. Let me go ahead and book you. It's the same concept. It's just like you're taking the extra 5 seconds to say, go in. I got a slot just for you. Come on in. Make sense? Does this sound reasonable? Yeah, okay. And then another one is how to identify, like, I'm so sorry that you're not feeling well today. We can go ahead and change that for you. I have a slot at this time or this time. So you gave a little power back to the potential patient, saying here's 2 slots to pick from, but you identified and related to their problem. Like, I know you're not feeling well. Yeah, we've had a lot of people come through for strep recently, and I'd love to take care of you for that. So you're just being just a little bit empathy, right? And that's what they want, because chances are if somebody's calling an urgent care, they don't feel good. And right, you want to make sure they feel better soon. And that's the mindset. All right? And then here's some small ones. This is like sales 101. Smile on the phone. Ever heard of that? Do your people smile on the phone when they talk to people? Yeah, sometimes, yeah. Some. Or are they just like, hello, this is so urgent care? Yes. Okay. You smile, your tone warms up, which is more inviting, and then all of a sudden they're more likely to talk to you more. And this is fascinating to me. So I was cold calling some urgent cares because I want you guys to work with us. And I called one urgent care and they hung up on me. I was like, well, maybe they just did it by accident. Call them back. I said, hey, this is so-and-so. Click. They didn't even know my name. Clicked it off. And I could hear in the background for the split 5 seconds noise. So they were busy and they just click. Do you think that happens in your clinic? Where they just can't get to a phone? They start to pick it up and put it down? I'm checking some no's, but I bet it's happened. Anyway, so that's that mindset of they're busy with what's in front of them. The phone call becomes a little secondary when you have like 5 people standing in front of them trying to intake, trying to get their insurance information. And that's a problem, right? Because while you're taking care of the 5 actual patients to get them through the door, then the other side is like, well, you just had 5 or 10 potential patients you just did not talk to. And then all of a sudden your patient numbers are down for some reason because maybe they had a bad day. You ever connected those dots before that your front desk is not feeling well and then your patient volume seems to be following that sometimes? You ever looked at that? Yeah. It's real. It really is. All right. Here's some other key things when it comes to answering the phone call. It needs to be answered in 3 rings or less. If it's not, chances are I'm going to hang up. Or I'm going to assume you're close. Or I'm going to assume you're busy. All right. Who in here is confident that if I called the urgent care right now, it would answer in 3 rings or less? Got a couple. Just a couple. Why? Why is 3 rings difficult? Anybody? Why do you think 3 rings are not like a real number? Like, anybody want to say why 3 rings doesn't work? So the ones that raise their hand that they're confident in 3 rings, why? Why do you think your confidence is there? Is it just
I call them all the time.
okay.
2, I know you said you're not a huge fan of phone trees, but if you utilize phone trees, you can put that front desk extension on multiple phones.
Yes. Yeah, so the phone tree thing is interesting because it depends on how long the phone tree is. We've had one urgent care that implemented a phone tree because they're having some issues. And we told them, you're going to have to adjust this. This phone tree is 60 seconds before they can put in an option. It needs to be Well, this is Birmingham. We're from Birmingham, Alabama. This is Birmingham Urgent Care. Please call 911 if it's a medical emergency. Press 1 for front desk. Press 2. It should be within like a 10-second phrase where they can just barely hear enough. Say, okay, yeah, I need a 1 or a 2 or whatever. But if it goes into like this long conversation before they can hit a number, you're losing. We see the hang-ups all the time. Like, it's really bad. Like, we had one where we just said, look, you're gonna have to cut that thing down. And the second they did, and we gave them a little script to use instead, their patient volume started to go up. Like, it's just the reality of it. Because we're an inpatient population, right? So you only have a few minutes to convert, or a few seconds to convert somebody. And if I'm sitting on the phone for 10, 20 seconds just to talk to someone because I have a question, I'm starting to lose my ability to sit on that phone. I think we could all relate to that. Good? All right, so this is very simple stuff. When somebody answers the phone, please use your first name when you answer the phone. Hey, this is Michael at Birmingham Urgent Care. It sounds so silly, but it works all the time. Anybody ever read How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie? Couple. First name matters, right? And so that's the same concept here. If I know your first name, you're going to have a better conversation with me if I don't know your first name. That's why, and at the same time, if the caller is willing to give a first name, that the front desk should be using that first name the rest of the time. It feels way more personal, and it's way likely to convert. They feel like they're part of you all of a sudden. Are y'all confident that your people are using their first name and then trying to use a caller's first name? Do you think that's happening? Maybe? Kinda? Yeah, kinda? Yeah. It makes a difference. Or the worst is when they pick up the phone and say hello. Like, please don't.
Yes. Yes.
Or
Tell
just
your children.
Yeah. Like, hello, or how can I help you? Well, did I call the right place? Is this Birmingham Urgent Care?
What's hard for me, I think, is, for example, I have one employee, she really is stellar when answering the call and always says her name.
Yeah.
But I just received a message that somebody had called the clinic. She didn't give her name. And it was like 20 minutes before we closed, so I didn't know if something shifted.
Yeah.
But she's usually always on top of her game, so it was like, what happened in that moment?
Yeah. And she could have been busy,
Yeah.
got distracted, frustrated.
Yeah, but I mean, how do you keep them on task with that? And it's like my other biggest thing is multitasking. If they're having to call an insurance and I've only got one front desk person, they don't answer that phone ringing. And my clinics are set up to have them reroute,
Yeah.
but it takes X amount of rings.
Yeah, and it gets real frustrating, right?
Yes.
So how many rings do you think it takes for it to swap?
It hits like the other phones probably about the 5th ring.
Okay.
And so see, I'll pick up the phone and I notice if they haven't picked it up by the 3rd, that's my cue because I'm old school. So I'm picking it up in my office.
Yes,
You know.
there you go. The 3 ring matters, right?
It helps, but I just don't know how to get them to understand it's 3 rings, you know, especially because I have universities around me, so I have lots of students.
Yeah, well, and so like I don't have time for that conversation. There's something called EOS where you focus on one number per employee. And so if the front desk, like your number is 3, and it's very simple, right? Because if I gave you like 10 numbers to keep up with, you're going to drop a number. You're going to not pay attention to the number. So I don't know what, like, because like you said, a front desk has lots of things going on. What's most important to them, right? Like, is your focus on, well, make sure to get their billing correct, or make sure to get their insurance correct, or make sure to get the paperwork done, or is it the phone ring? Like, if you gave them one simple number that was most impactful to your business, what number is that? And that's how you help with the training side of employees, like let them focus on that side, because it becomes a lot easier to reward off of that. I can give incentives off of that. So, very good. Thank y'all for the feedback so far. Anyways, a couple other things so far. Simple scripts to be read, like this is something where you print it out, laminate it, put it on their front desk, let them feel confident about it, right? And make it, if you laminate it, they can mark on it with a marker and just like make some little adjustments. Just a simple, here's our cash pricing, all these different things. It's very easy. Because what I'm trying to avoid is, please hold on, and that goes to some type of waiting. 30 seconds later, because they got distracted when they put their phone down, and now it becomes 2 minutes to go get a 5-second answer, and then that person probably already hung up. We've seen it lots and lots of times where, especially, I'm okay with like if they pick up so-and-so, can you please hold for just a second? And if they come back within like 10, 20 seconds, you're okay. But if it's going into like a minute, I probably hung up. I've moved on. So, all right, so here's some objective side of things that I'll call back later. You've heard that before, right? Like they got an answer of some sort when they called your urgent care. Would you like to come in? No, I'll call back later. So it could be, and I've heard this too, okay, I'll call back when ready. They're not gonna call back. They got what they wanted, and they probably moved on, because maybe they didn't like the answer. We've seen that. That's your cash price, click. That happens a lot. But instead of, I'll call back later. Well, I actually have a time for you right now if you want to go ahead and come in. Tone change, opportunity. And then they'll tell you, okay, yeah, I can't come in because I can't afford that. Or actually, yeah, go ahead and put me down, I'll come. We talk about how buyers are liars. I mean, if you've heard that phrase before. So if I'm coming to buy, I'm actually not telling you the whole truth because I don't want to tell you the whole truth because I want to be shielded right now. So you got to keep that in mindset. Anyway, and we talked about already about the pricing sheet, the importance of that, making sure you have insurance listed on an easy sheet to read. They shouldn't be go looking for it because chances are you guys accept 20 to 30 insurances. If somebody calls us, if it goes to I don't know, you're losing them. That's just a simple fact right there. Because if I don't know, what else do you not know? It sounds terrible, but it's real. We've even had some where they call an urgent care. Do you have a doctor on staff? I don't know. Why is that a hard question? Or do you have an X-ray on site? Let me go check. It sounds silly, right? But I bet you've had that happen before, and you may not even know it. So it's just these simple things. Because like you said, you haven't prioritized the front desk at all. But my goodness, there's a difference between you getting that patient and you not getting that patient. So this is where when you don't prioritize it, they're going to make silly mistakes. But anyway. Is this good so far, you guys? This is good stuff? Okay. And then this last one of simply, let me see if I can fix something for you. Let me be proactive with you right now. Or like you talked about the luggage type of thing, where they knew how to fix this for you and make your life a lot easier. Same concept here. What can I do to fix this for you right now? Because I know I only got a few minutes to make this happen. All right, here's the bonus side of the calls. If you have a missed appointment, you call them back. You call them back within 15, 30 minutes of the missed appointment. Did anybody do that? No?
Yes.
Yes? Does it work?
Yes.
Yeah. It's simple. It's very simple. Like if it's an 11 o'clock appointment, it's 11:15, they haven't shown up, call them. Hey, I'm just checking to make sure you're still coming. Oh, I got caught up, so I was like, well, cool, can I move your appointment to this time? Absolutely, I'll be there in 15 minutes. Instead of, I got distracted. Who was I supposed to go to? Because they forget, because sadly, when it comes to branding of an urgent care is an urgent care is an urgent care. It's very hard to separate brands for people because they all kind of feel the same to them, which is frustrating, right? But it works. The callback really does work. And when we say this here, you got to do it in 15, 30 minutes of a missed one, because if it goes beyond an hour, they've already gone to the other place. Or they're already en route to the other urgent care. Or they just lost interest. Maybe I do feel better. That mindset. And then, basically it's that proactive conversation. You saw Mr. Wood, would you like to reschedule? And then, hey, and here's the missed call in. Hey, name, this is Michael from Emergent Care. So sorry I missed your call. How can I help you? It's that coming back with that name part of things and just engaging them just a little bit. And I do realize this is why I put bonus points on this, is taking an extra step outside of their norm to do this, and you have to have a process around to do this. So, but it does work, as you confirmed. It definitely does work. So let's talk about AI a little bit, because AI is here. It's not going anywhere, and healthcare is embracing it. So AI can handle some stuff. We have, I talked about Flip for a second. We're working with some AI stuff ourselves, and it can take calls, it can schedule, it can send you a text, and all that stuff. And it's really good for booking some straight appointment stuff. The second it gets complicated, it needs to go to a human very quickly. And complicated is beyond just an insurance question, right? Or can I talk to the doctor? Can I do this? Those type of questions, that type of stuff. Anybody using AI right now on the voice side? Is it working?
It's Flip.
It's Flip? Is it?
Yeah.
You like it?
Yeah, it's great.
Good. Awesome. So it does work, right? All right. So I don't know if this will play. Let's try it. So this is us using our AI, just an example. Hannah was making a call. I have no idea this will sound.
You have reached Nick's Urgent Care. If this is an emergency, hang up and dial 911. How can I help you today?
Hi, I was wanting to schedule an appointment.
Okay, I am sending you a link to schedule your visit. Great. I've sent you the
Yeah,
scheduling
it's
link.
text.
Could I get your name, please?
Yes, my name's Hannah. I was wondering what your hours were.
Thanks, Hannah. Hours are Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and on Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. We're closed on Sundays. Anything else I can help you with?
Yeah, I was just wondering if I could speak to a doctor really quick.
This is
Hang
where
on, I
AI
will
struggles,
transfer
it's a
your
little
call.
slow, right? And it connects over. This is actually Nick picking up the phone.
Thank you for calling Nick's Urgent Care. How can I help you?
Yeah.
You have reached.
So that's a good example of like AI is where it's not 100% human, right? Like there's definitely some delays I can recognize it's AI, but my goodness, that's a better option just missing the call altogether, right? So.
You have.
Oh, there you go. So we did talk to Flip. Like, can you give some case study information because you guys are really deep with on the flip side? And basically, that was weird. 30% of all inbound calls at clinics never reach a human. You confirmed that today, saying 30% are missed calls. So like this line's right on up. AI can be 24/7, which can help with some of that. And then at the end of the day, AI was flipping that 30%. They were taking, let's say, 1,000 calls, 300 are being missed. Now 40% reduction of that, so 120 less missed calls can make a difference, right? I mean, if you just had 10% of those convert into patients, it makes a difference. So that's where AI is going. It's got more work to do. It's not perfect yet, but it is working, and we can confirm it's working. All right, here's some action plans for you guys, because we're getting up to the end here. So, role play. Anybody ever role play with their staff? Yeah? Which staff do you role play the most with? Front desk? Okay. And when you do a role play, are you calling in the front desk, or are you just sitting down and talking to them about conversations that you're having? Or somebody give me an example of what the role play looks like.
It's an in-person role play where you sit and you act as a customer and then you observe their responses and then you give them back the response in which you would expect them to do.
I got you. So,
You go both ways, so you role play them as a patient and then flip it.
do you ever find where you need to okay, let's retrain on this little piece here? Or they give a really interesting answer you weren't expecting? Yeah. And so I'm encouraging this right now, role play with your people. And if you're afraid to, you're going to have to get over it. It's just the reality of it. You need to sit down with your front desk, have a conversation. Like, all right, I'm going to give you the top 5 questions I know you're going to get because I've heard the calls or whatnot. And I want you to answer them just like I'm a patient you never talked to before. And then you need to be aggressive with them. It's like, well, I'm an angry patient now. I'm a nice patient. I don't want to talk to you, but I have to patient. Like all these conversations, you need to see where are they with your conversation. This is sales training. This is that part that matters. Because then you need to, on the role-playing side, you need to say, okay. I can see you can answer the hard questions, but you're not being proactive and say, well, let's go ahead and book you a time to take care of this for you. Because I bet that's happened, where they're not pushing for that booked appointment. They're just answering the hard questions, but they're not pushing on the proactive side. So start role-playing if you haven't done it. All right, and then actual call scripts. So be confident in your call script. I'm going to give you guys call scripts at the end here. You can scan in, and you'll have some basis to work off of. Some of it's generic because I'm not your urgent care. But at the end of the day, you need to have some basic scripts because you want to be consistent. Like if you're multi-location, you want that each location to sound exactly the same and be confident in that. It's the Chick-fil-A experience, right? Like if I go to Chick-fil-A here, if I go to Chick-fil-A in Birmingham, if I go to Chick-fil-A in California, it's the same thing. And that's what you want with all your clinics at the end of the day. All right, and then here's the fun one. It's the secret shop. We talked about that briefly at the very beginning. Who in here has done the secret shopping? A couple of hands. And who did you use? A family member or a friend? Who'd you use?
Managers from other centers or.
Yeah. So I will encourage you, use somebody who's never used your urgent care, that knows nothing about your urgent care. And it needs to not just start from a phone call. It needs to start with, go to my website, go book an appointment, make a phone call. How hard was it? And you can sit there and watch them, and you can't help them, right? If you help them, you lose. That's not secret shopping anymore. Because we've seen that happen. It's like, well, you just go up there and click that. Well, why did I have to tell you that, right? Like, I shouldn't have to tell you that. This is the marketing side for us. And when they go to that call, and you say, I want you to say that you're sick, and basically need to see if there's appointments available and see what happens. And you'll be surprised. Like it may be great, it may not be great. But this is like a 2-minute exercise, right? This is something you can do very quickly. But I encourage it that it's somebody that's never interacted with your urgent care before. Because if there's familiarity, they're gonna probably understand it a little better. It'll be smoother. You don't want smooth. You want it to be as rocky as possible so you can expose the problems. Does that make sense? Yeah. I would even say if you have a kid that's 15, 16, they probably don't care about your urgent care. So you can get them to call it, and they're going to be the most awkward people in the world, and we'll see how good your front desk is, right? So can I get an appointment out of this 15-year-old? I don't know. And so also too, so we have a podcast called Walk-Ins Welcome. There's episode 148, which is with Jessica Walker with Care Sherpa. This is what she does. She secret shops clinics and helps improve their follow-up process. It's not like, her focus isn't urgent care, it's specialties, but she's helped urgent cares in the past, and she's happy to help you with a secret shop situation. So that's like I said, Walk-Ins Welcome. I'm a co-host to it. It's a fantastic episode to encourage you. All right. And then finally at the end right here, so scan that code now to get to that information. Yeah. And we're going to ask you for information because we're marketers. But you're going to get a link to the slides here, call scripts, our DIY toolkit. If you like running Google Ads yourself, we got some information that'll help you run your ads a little bit better, and everything else. Everybody get it? Plug in your info. Okay.
I hope that you guys really enjoyed that episode. I know it's a replay, but it's really good information. There's a really good chance that your front desk has some improvements that could be made. I hope some of the things that were offered in the recording today actually could be something you could take back immediately. And like I said at the very beginning, we're working now on some training programs for urgent care. And we have something that we do right now with our current clients. We're having something we're going to try to offer for non-clients at some point. Thank you guys again for listening to our show this entire year. I hope you have a wonderful holidays, and I can't wait to see you in the new year. See ya.